Hi everyone, it's Juliet Grandma's Creations again. Thanks for joining me. I've got this as my gadget today. It's a seam ripper. So I've got quite a few because I do make quite a few mistakes. I'll show you a few of my selection. There they are. So this one came with my machine, my Janome machine. And you pull the top off and you put it underneath to use it. This one I think is quite a common, works in the same sort of way. I've got an antique one that you just have a little protector on, and I have a pretty one that was from Fox Glove and Field, and you can actually remove that and pop it inside for safety, and this end you pull out and that's got a different bit on it for holding your work under your needle and pushing it through. That's quite a handy gadget, and of course it's very pretty. But this is the one that I use the most. I love this one. It's got a protector on it, but it's just a really good length, and because it's flat, it's easy to hold, so it's really quite useful. So I really like it. The one thing you'll see that they all have in common is they have a very sharp bit. Then they have the cutting bit in the middle of this sort of fork, and they all have this little red bubble on the end. And to be quite honest, until quite recently, maybe a couple of years ago, I didn't really know what this little bit was for, that bit there, the little red bit. So I'm going to show you two ways in which you can use a seam ripper. And I'm going to use my favourite one. So first of all, if you've got a seam, and I've done it in black thread for you so that you can clearly see, what I do is, if I have to rip stitches out or a whole row of stitches, I start off at the end and I take a stitch out, and then I leave 2 or 3 stitches, and then I put the pointy bit underneath the stitch and slice up, because that's the slicing bit there. And I go along every 2 or 3 stitches like that, all the way along until I get to the end of my row of stitches. Obviously, if I had this in my hand, I'd be doing this much quicker, otherwise I'd never get anything done. Going along like that. Every 2 or 3 stitches, pick it up a little bit, 2 or 3 stitches like that, until you complete the end of the stitches. Slice 2 or 3 together. And now what you can do is turn your work over, and you can get the thread underneath, and you should be able to really just pull that out, and then you're left being able to just undo your work, and then you can just pull these little bits out, or you can rub them off like that. So that's one way to use it. So that's using the sharp bit here. So if you were to have a seam like this that's inside, and you're looking at the good side, but you need this to be undone, you would first of all use that sharp bit and take off. Again, I'm using black thread here, so you should be able to see a bit clearer. So you would take the first couple of stitches out. There we are. So of course, but using it that way, gliding along, you're likely to cut into your fabric and make a hole, which you don't want to do. So what you do is you turn it over and you put that bit into your seam like that. And then what you're able to do is just glide along your seam like that. And of course, that's a much quicker way of getting your seam undone. And you protect your fabric because you're using the little bobble bit. So I hope you found that useful, and I will see you next time.